guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a movie review for the new release Ambulance. Ambulance is a movie directed by Michael Bay and is starring Jake Gyllenhaal as the main guy. And yeah, it's basically a bank job gone wrong. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but Jake Gyllenhaal is leading a team. He plays a guy called Danny, and his brother Will, who is in the Aquaman films, but I can't remember his name. Basically, you know, the brother is going through some tough times. He's an Marine, went to Afghanistan and all that jazz. And he just feels like the American system is wronging him and his family. He feels like he should be owed something for obviously what he did for the country, etc. And it's a really sad movie that starts really sad. And it does grab you. It did grab me at the beginning. Then he's basically looking for some money, like some insurance money for like health scare. I think it's his daughter or his wife is like really ill. And he basically needs money for his family, so he approaches his brother who has this job, and Danny basically pulls him in and says, I need you, you're a good driver, you know, I want you on the team. And that's what happens. They go on a bank heist and I think they want to steal $32 million, and there's a whole team of them, and just things go wrong, and you know, they end up in an ambulance, and they end up stealing an ambulance alongside with a paramedic, and there's also a cop that has been shot inside. And you know, the whole film just feels a bit like Speed then, in the sense of, you know, like the bus being followed. It's the exact same thing with the ambulance just being followed, and then you see the police, they're just discussing things and being like, what should we do? And then you've got then inside the actual ambulance themselves. So it started really good, but as soon as the ambulance got involved in the ambulance film, I didn't really enjoy it. It was a bit like they were building tension in the right moments. There was not too much explosions for Michael Bay, I will say. It didn't seem as like, you know, we're just going to destroy the whole city type of thing. I mean, it's not that type of film, but you know, it did feel okay. I just don't think that some of the characters had enough like depth to them. I mean, it for me felt like a one-time watch. That goes for me for the score as well, which it doesn't feel like I would rewatch this again. Like once I've seen it now, I've seen it. And I always do this thing in my streaming movie reviews where I say, does it feel more like a TV film that should have gone like direct to streaming or should have gone to the cinema? This one probably should have just gone straight to Netflix. It felt like one of like Liam Neeson's films that would be on like Amazon Prime. And yeah, it's really weird film. It didn't grab me as much as it should have. And I think Jake Gyllenhaal's performance, he was just really stroppy throughout it. I'm not sure how I feel about Jake Gyllenhaal recently. I saw a film, I think it's called Guilty or something, on Netflix, and he was just really stroppy in that. I feel like he's stroppy in Far From Home recently. He's stroppy in this film. He's just playing this stroppy guy who's just like, I don't know if I'm rating him as an actor anymore. I think he was better in his earlier stuff than he is now. Not too sure, but Ambulance for me is a one-time watch. I would rate this movie, if I had to rate this film, 5.5 out of 10. Just over average, because I think some of the effects and stunt work was really good. One of the things I really enjoyed about this film was the drones. They had these like FPV drones shots, which were like down the side of buildings, inside, outside, up, down. I watch a lot of that type of stuff on YouTube and I love it. It's really interesting, but I've never really seen it in movies. And it's a great way of using that technology and that type of camera shooting in a car chase. It looked fantastic. It was brilliant. And yeah, some of the work was just, it was fab. I would be really intrigued to see a behind the scenes of that if that at all comes out. But yeah, that was good. I just think the performances was just mediocre. There was I think there was one effect, like there was like an ambulance that drove into like loads of police and blew up. That looked like a video game to me. Didn't look very good effects at all. Looked very, you know, very low budget. And you'd think there was only like one shot in the whole movie that was CGI really, and that one shot they made look awful rather than like spend a lot of time doing that one shot. So as I say, for me it's a bit of a bust. It definitely won't be a pickup. I don't even think I'd buy it. It's like one of those films, if you see it on Blu-ray for like £1 in a few years time and you think, oh, I watched that in the cinema, I've seen it once, I'll give it another rewatch. But then you wouldn't watch it again. For me, it's not a continually watchable movie that I would want in my collection. So yeah, as I say, 5.5 out of 10, just slightly better than average. And yeah, it was a bit of a bust for me. And I think Jake Gyllenhaal was hyped up to be something that you know, I think he's getting worse. So it's really interesting to see what he does next, because the last few movies I've seen of his, he hasn't really, for me anyway, he hasn't really done it. But there it is, guys. There is my review of Ambulance. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you going to see it? Have you seen it? Thanks for watching today's video, and of course I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.